Hi everyone, this is Paul, and this is another of my shorts. Today we're in Council Bluffs again. We're at the east end of Oakland Avenue, and currently I'm just kind of panning over the Fairview Cemetery in Council Bluffs, one of the oldest cemeteries in Council Bluffs. Up here are buried many of the founding fathers of Council Bluffs, and there are a whole lot of names up here that share street names in town. But that's not really why I'm here. I'm really here because we are also visiting the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial. It's known in Council Bluffs as the Black Angel. Let's hear a little bit more about it. The name Dodge is well known in Council Bluffs, well known in Omaha too. People around here are really familiar with a real estate company called NP Dodge. And that is, those are direct descendants of General Grenville M. Dodge and Ruth Ann Dodge. Today we're at the Black Angel, known in Council Bluffs as the Black Angel, the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial. And if I can focus down here on this memorial plaque, you can pause it and read it. You can see that it was created by the artist, American sculptor Daniel Chester French. You may not be familiar with Daniel Chester French. You may not be familiar with the Black Angel, but you've probably seen photographs or in person the seated Lincoln in the Lincoln Memorial. That's Daniel Chester French. In one of his statements and an article I read, he claimed that the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial was his favorite sculpture. That story. This is the Black Angel up close. It's this color, obviously, because it's bronze, and bronze exposed to the weather is going to turn this dark gray, black. It's dedicated to a dream that Ruth Ann Dodge had that was a premonition of her death. A boat came to her in a dream with an angel. The first night the angel did not land, didn't get off the boat. The second night the angel didn't land, didn't get off the boat. The third dream, the boat came to shore, the angel got off, and Ruth Ann Dodge was taken on the boat. And she knew that was a premonition of her death. That's just kind of interesting because my wife is here with me, and she's Korean, and she just made an interesting observation that in dreamology in Korea, if you dream about riding on a boat, it's a dream about you're going to die. So interesting how those two things come together. There are other stories about the Black Angel, and over into Fairview Cemetery, there are a lot of paranormal researchers and ghost hunters who have been up here and claim that the Ruth Ann Dodge Monument is haunted. I've heard that. I don't know whether I believe it. I've never had any experiences to say that it is or isn't. A lot of paranormal researchers, though, say there's a lot of activity in Fairview Cemetery. And it's quite an interesting cemetery in itself because it contains several monuments. So I just thought it'd be kind of interesting to take a look here and visit the Black Angel, a spot I've grown up with all my life, but never really took time to learn some of the history behind it. I hope you can read this plaque. It says, this monument is to commemorate the visit of Abraham Lincoln to Council Bluffs on August 19, 1859. From this point, he viewed the extensive panorama of the valley of the Missouri River, and in compliance with law of Congress on November 17, 1863, he selected this city as the eastern terminus of the Union Pacific Railroad. Hi, this is Paul, and we're still in my shorts. We're at the Lincoln Monument in Council Bluffs, Iowa, the Lincoln Memorial. And as you just heard, by executive order, proclamation of President Lincoln, Council Bluffs is the eastern terminus of the Union Pacific Railroad. In some of the recent histories that I've read, many of the stories state that Council Bluffs, by that executive order, by that presidential proclamation, became the end of the East and the start of the West. And standing at this point, we zoom across to the towers of the Woodman Tower, the First National Bank building, the downtown towers of Omaha, and to think in 1859, Omaha barely existed, and Council Bluffs was the big city. As you can see down in the valley, there's a row of tank cars. Behind that row of tank cars, you might see a yellow passenger car. Union Pacific does maintain a group of executive coaches and locomotives to service the population of the headquarters of the Union Pacific across in Omaha. Now, location, where am I? The west end of Oakland Avenue in Council Bluffs. And I was just at the east end of Oakland Avenue in Council Bluffs at the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial. And let's put a little bit more into that history. General Grenville M. Dodge, Ruth Ann Dodge's husband, was appointed by Abraham Lincoln as the surveyor of right-of-way for the Union Pacific Railroad. Thus we have the connection, Ruth Ann Dodge, Abraham Lincoln, Grenville M. Dodge, and even Chester French, the sculptor of the seated Lincoln in the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and the Black Angel in Council Bluffs. We decided to take a little walk up into Fairview Cemetery. And from this vantage point right here, you get a real nice view of Council Bluffs and off into the distance into Omaha. Quiet neighborhood, dogs barking, Sunday afternoon, April 2nd, 2023.